guys, welcome back to my garage and my channel. I wanted to tell you guys that my channel name has changed, and you probably know that if you have already been watching my channel and you're subscribed. Then you're getting emails that says the Abled Gardener has a new video out. And that's because I changed my name from KVigil59, which is just what I signed up as under YouTube when I started wanting to say comment under people's YouTube channels, and you have to come up with a name to be able to comment. So that's the name I came up with, and then probably, I don't know, 6 months or 7 months later, I wanted to start a channel, and so I was stuck with that name. And the reason that I wanted to start a channel was to help people with disabilities or illnesses, because that's what I have, is an illness, a disability that's not going to go away that I know of anytime soon. But that's the reason I wanted to start my channel, was for other people that have illnesses to, maybe help them, to spur them onward, to show them that you can still do some things in your life, like if you liked gardening or any other kind of hobby, anything like that. YouTube was that outlet to get me out of bed and get me into something that I like doing, which one of the main things was gardening. And it improved my life so much, emotionally, mentally, that I wanted to give that to other people that were maybe going through the same thing. So if you hear me talk about my illness often, or whether I'm feeling good, or I'm feeling good today or I'm not feeling good today, then that's why. So I'll get off of that and I'll go on to a few other things, just little tidbits of things that I'm doing around the garden and things that are growing in my greenhouse I wanted to show you. So let me get on with that. So the first thing I wanted to show you was something that a friend had sent me in the mail. Actually, he sent me two. So to show you what my friend sent me, these are, and I hope I'm pronouncing this right, chayotes. It's C-H-A-Y-O-T-E. So the way that I understand it, I hope you guys excuse my voice. I'm going through some allergies because here in Northern California we're going through like a false spring and everything is blooming, and I have allergies, and the allergies have just hit me big time. So I've got a little raspy throat, but the doctor has me on some allergy medication, and it's made me really sleepy, but I feel fine, just, sleepy. So these are the chayotes that a friend sent me, and I don't know a lot about the plant. My grandmother used to grow them in Oklahoma and Texas, and she used to talk about them a lot. As I understand it, you plant the whole chayote squash, and it comes up, it gets it to be a big vine, and it has somewhere between like 50 or 75 of these squash growing on it. And the way that you start a new chayote is to have the whole entire fruit, you plant it down in the ground, and then it starts rotting. And as it rots away, the outside rots away, it gives strength to the part that's growing, so it will grow up and then send a root down. So you can see on this particular one that's growing, it already has this big rotten spot, and it's starting to grow. It's starting to send out a little shoot, and I don't see any roots yet. I just see a little tiny shoot coming out of that rotten spot. And then the other one that he sent me hasn't rotted at all yet. So I'll get both of those out in the ground, and we'll just see how they do this year, and you can follow their progress through me, and maybe it's something that you want to try growing if you live in a warmer climate. Now that's another thing that I understand about these, is you need to live in a warmer climate, like Texas, Oklahoma, Florida. Now I'm in Northern California. It's a little bit colder up here because we're right at the base of the Sierra Nevada mountain range, but I think they'll grow through the summertime when it's warm, and then I'll harvest whatever fruit it's got on it, keep it inside until the next year. So that's one of the little tidbits. That's something that I'm doing. One of the things I'm doing outside is I got a low-growing cover crop to go underneath my taller vegetables, like my tomatoes, eggplant, peppers, things like that. It's two different kinds of low-growing clover. So this is pre-inoculated, low-growing clover, And it's strawberry clover and New Zealand white clover, and it's going to just grow maybe an inch or two off the ground. Pre-inoculated means that it's already been covered or coated with rhizobia bacteria. And what that does is it just helps the plant to create more nitrogen nodules underneath the ground. So as my plants are growing and taking nitrogen out of the soil, this will be putting nitrogen into the soil. So that's one thing, another little thing that I'm going to be doing. I also ordered some clips, or some, I think they're called snaps, for my PVC pipe hoop house. Now, if you remember on a couple videos back where I had made the hoop houses, I had put them together with duct tape, and that was fine, but it seemed really funky. I mean, I couldn't get the tape on there straight, and the tape wouldn't stick in some areas, and it just looks horrible to me. So I found these clips online, and all they are is little PVC clips. They're 4 inches long, and I got the size that goes for my PVC pipe that I got, and that was 3/4 inch. So these are 3/4 inch snaps. So if you'd like to look into getting these little snaps, I'll put a link to the company below so you can look them up, and they're not very expensive. Actually, they're pretty cheap, I thought, and the shipping was really cheap. They come in 4 inch and 4 feet, and I thought I might get the 4-foot ones and cut them up into the sections that I wanted. And then I rethought that and thought, no, I'm just going to get the 4-inch ones and put them in the areas where they need to go to hold the plastic down. And so I'll take you outside and I'll show you how those are working, because I've already put on a couple of them. That's all that's new for inside, except I would like to show you what's going on in the greenhouse, because I've started some plants early. Some of them have become overachievers and just really shot up, like some of the tomato plants. So one of the little experiments I'm going to do, since my tomatoes in the greenhouse have just gone crazy, is I'm going to take at least 2 of them that are just really sturdy and I've had to transplant into gallon-sized containers. I'm going to take, excuse me, at least 1 or 2 of them and plant them outside and just see how they're going to do. I mean, since we're into March already, it's not going to be too long where I would be planting my tomato plants already. So if they could make it another, say, 2 to 3 weeks outside with maybe a little hoop house over them, then they'll be doing fine and they'll have a really early start, and I can get them out of the greenhouse. So let me just take a real quick breather here, clear my throat, move the chair, and show you what's in the greenhouse. My last video, I was showing you guys how to warm up your soil in, well, inexpensive ways, like Christmas tree lights and rope light. And I was able to get those containers into the greenhouse somehow. I don't know how they fit in here, but they did. So the big containers that I picked up, they were under the bed containers, 4 to 5 inches tall, and they're sitting on 1 strand of Christmas tree lights. I got that set right on the front, and I've got it on, a couple of plant stands and a cardboard box. So let me retake the temperature real quick of the Christmas tree lights, and I'll show you how much the soil has heated up. So the soil sitting on top of the Christmas tree lights, it has gotten up to 77, 78 degrees. And that's just fine for tomatoes. The soil is nice and warm. The tomatoes are growing like crazy. Now, I didn't want the tomato plants to start blooming already, but once I warmed up the soil, all my seeds started germinating and coming up, and the ones that already had really started growing. It just really surprised me. So I also have the container with the rope light underneath it, and I'm going to take that temperature real quick and see what the temperature of the soil is. Now, while that thermometer is working and coming up, let me just show you what I have in here. I've got the 1 container in the front that has 4 tomatoes in it. So besides that, let's go outside, and I'm just going to show you a few things that I've done outside, and then that'll be it. Here we are outside, and it's an overcast day today. It was supposed to rain, but it didn't. It's been so nice. It's been, say in the high 60s, low 70s, sunshine. And like I said, it seems like it's been a fall spring, because I know pretty soon it's just going to start raining like crazy, and we're going to have some freezing nights. So I wanted to show you the PVC clips and how they work. I've taken the tape, I hope you can see this, I've taken some of the tape off already off of the hoop house, and replaced it with these clips. Now the way that these clips work is you just pull your plastic tight. Like I said, I've taken the tape off already. You just take the clip and clip it on there, and it holds your plastic on. And the other great thing about this is in summertime, when I take this all apart and put the PVC pipe away, I can take the plastic off of it also and fold the plastic up, put the clips away, and then next fall, when it starts getting cold again, I can just re-clip the plastic back on. So I'll put the link below on these snap clamps, and you can see that it shows a little greenhouse on here, and you know how you can snap the plastic on. So from here you guys can also see what's growing in my little nursery bed. All my small plants I had stuck out here just for a little while. I didn't tend to really well, so that they've just gone crazy. Now this is just some bulbs that I set in there that I had gotten for my birthday from my daughter. Really pretty calla lilies. I've got broccoli in here, lettuce, cabbage, bok choy, but I haven't really had the time to come out here and transplant them, say out to an outer bed. So the bok choy is going to seed. The broccoli is it's just a little tiny head. It just didn't do much at all in this hoop house. But the lettuce is doing well, the spinach is doing well, and the beets are really growing well. So go over to this other side, and I have a feeling I'm going to pull the rest of this romaine lettuce out. I did open up the hoop house when we had some sunny days, and it got sunburned, and it may have been open at night, and it started getting eaten on. Now we've been eating off of this romaine lettuce all winter long, and as much as I love romaine lettuce, and I still do, I don't know, this is just looking pretty bad. It's not looking like anything I want to eat anymore. So over in the corner in what I had called my ugly area, I did put a flower bed. I put the pineapple guava that I had gotten in the middle, and some ornamental cabbage around. I got 2 different kinds of ornamental cabbage. Let's get a little bit closer. I put in some vinca minor, which is starting to flower and grow. There are some different bulbs in here, and also some a plant called Dusty Miller, and it's starting to grow also. So my plant that's a Hardenbergia is going to be planted back here by this post and grow up one of these trellises. And with all the sunshine, my chase tree is starting to leaf out. You can see it up against the black of the barrel, how it's starting to leaf out. And my outdoor growing bed is doing really well. One thing that I'll show you guys that I was able to save was 2 cabbages. And out of 6 cabbage that I had out here growing, one of them fell over, and I found cabbage maggots. So I got them out of the ground as quick as I could, found the maggots that were in the roots, washed them off, and put them in a container of water in the kitchen. So I was able to rescue these 2. I don't know how that worked, but they didn't have any roots left on them. I got them inside, washed them up really well, and put them in a container of water. And these cabbage actually put out new roots. I was able to bring them back out after a couple weeks and put them in the ground. And they've been out here 2 or 3 weeks. They're growing. They have a really good root base. I planted some radishes around the roots because radishes are supposed to help keep cabbage maggots away. Plus I put some diatomaceous earth around the bottom, around the roots, and nothing has attacked them yet. So that's doing really well. But other than that, my bok choy is going to seed. My mustard spinach over here is going to seed. The 3 cabbages that were left are starting to make heads, so that's really nice. So the rest of this bed is just a lot of kale that has gone crazy. Now the leaves are really thick and bitter, and I just have had so much kale over the winter. I'm getting a little tired of eating kale. I hate to say that for you guys that, you know, you're under 4 or 6 feet of snow, and here I have all these greens and I'm sick of eating them, but I think you can get sick of eating kale. And I've planted some other spinach and lettuce underneath, and the kale is just shading the sun from all those other plants. So some butter crunch lettuce is coming up, and it's trying to grow, but it just can't grow with all this kale in here. So I have a feeling kale is going to come out and go to the chickens, and I'll let these other things start coming up that I'd rather be eating. One thing, if you can see behind me, I don't know if you can see the pavers that we put down. I was going to put pavers between my garden beds so that I could run my walker on the pavers instead of on the dirt or mud if it rains. So my husband and I got out here one day, we put down some sand, put down the pavers. So the reason I wanted to put the pavers down between the beds was so that I could run my walker on the pavers instead of just on the dirt, or if it rained I would just have mud. But the pavers are working out really well, and in the areas where it was a little wider than 24 inches and there was some space between the pavers. Got some really good advice from Brendan in Ireland, and his channel name is Bacon Soda, and I'll put a link below for that. So the advice he gave me was between the beds where the pavers weren't coming together, or there was a little bit more room, is to spread the pavers out as far as I could get them and then fill the middle part with sand or sand and gravel, sand and pea gravel. And I just want to tell you, Brendan, that worked out really well.